Okay, cool. Yeah, so welcome back to the video. As you can tell, it's been raining in Girona. It is absolutely awful. All of the thousands of people who have come for the Traka can only apologise. It's not normally like this. But yeah, me and Ollie are heading over to sign on. I've been told the sign on area is an absolute mud fest. So
heard it's like Glastonbury, lad.
Yeah, so I brought the black shoes.
I'm not doing too good here, boys. I'm sorry, Berkeys.
Just hit up Fulcrum and got some coloured logos from my wheels, so I can pimp the bike out for tomorrow. But yeah, not long to go till go time.
It's Bean's feed zone jacket, I'm sorry. It's raining and I don't have a raincoat.
Ollie's rocking the double fluoro, guys.
No, single fluoro.
Double fluoro.
Oh, I've got the umbrella. Oh, they're proper classy as well, aren't they?
Yep.
Well, it was sunny in Spain.
What is
What is this?
It's just like a festival.
Yeah, this is like a
Look at this, look.
Stop taking videos of me in this awful jacket.
What's that? Everyone get out my way, I'm coming through, Bell.
I'm still alive. Every time I'm in pain, it's like I'm still alive.
I'm still here.
Come on up. How are you?
Alright.
Yeah, good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm dry for now, so I'm happy.
Mate, it's I'm so tired from socialising.
I know. I feel you.
There's just too many people. It's nice to see everyone.
This week has been crazy, right?
I think so, yeah. Well, it's good, eh? It's good.
It's good, amazing.
Well, how's your carb loading going?
None at the moment.
Loaded any carbs?
Mate, I need to go and load them in.
Yeah, see you in the morning. Wait, are you with the other guys?
Well, Devon's just turned up, so maybe.
Yeah, they just checked in.
Yeah, they're just checking in now.
Okay guys, so Traka 2024 fueling is going to be a really, really important one, and I'm very blessed to have the kind guys at Traka sorting me out once again. Now for this one, almost more than any other, fueling is going to be a huge part of the strategy, and it's really going to be one of the main elements as to how successful you are on race day. I'm going to be hitting close to 100 grams of carbohydrates per hour, and it means that a race that long is almost a race of who can eat the most. I'm laying out all the stuff that I'm going to need, and I thought I'd run you through it quickly. So I'm going to be running a hydration pack with purely hydro tabs in the back, but in addition to that I have the carbohydrates in my bottles. So all that means I've got well over 500 grams of carbohydrate powder carbs, and then in addition to that I've got the Traka gel 50s. I'll be aiming for pretty much one of these an hour, and maybe hopefully a little bit of real food, maybe a banana or a packet of sweets, to bring me up to the magic number of 1,300 grams. There's so much carbs. Let me tell you, this week has been absolute carnage. It's been wet, it's been stormy, it's been thundery, and all of the course has been flooded. 560, which would have been the first race of this week's adventures, was cancelled a couple of days ago. Our race is tomorrow, the 360. At this point, it does look like it's gonna happen, but it is once again raining. Tomorrow it does look like we're gonna be lucky, but I'm making a few last minute equipment choice changes to my setup. Specifically, I'm going from a Touareg, which is, as you can see, not that grippy. It's got a decent amount of grip, but for this rain, for this mud, it's just not quite up to scratch. So I'm swapping it out for a Tundra, which as you can see, is a bit more of a mud tire.
Let's go! Feeling good?
Yeah, when it moved forward, but I had your bike and I was like, oh.
We made it. Wasn't what we planned, but we get involved anyway.
This is a 560, right?
Yeah. Just keep shortening every day for me.
Hey, 340, innit?
It can be 50k.
Just do the first 30 again. One more time, alright. Just to be sure.
Okay, here we go, lining up on the start line with Class Mark playing their incredible and motivational Coldplay on our rollout. As per usual, probably around 800 100 people on the start line. No one really knew the exact number, as the 5:40 distance was cancelled, and all of the riders who would have done that race were welcome to start the 360. For the rollout at 7, which was 1 hour later than initially planned for whatever reason, I made use of the extra time in bed. You can see here it was a pretty mad bite to the first bend here, and with a fair amount of mud. I was pleased straight away that I had made the switch over with the tyres for that little bit of extra grip. Here, leaving the venue and going out onto the road with the police convoy, I was making sure to try and move up as many places as I possibly could to be right in the front where the action was. As you can see, taking the wrong way around the roundabout here, fully not intentionally, I just found myself leaning that side and had to commit to it, but rejoining as soon as I could, right next to Danny, towards the front, 30 guys or so, following this convoy car before this hill started. I knew that this first climb was going to be absolute carnage, and I failed to have a warm-up in the morning, but I think a lot of people were in the same boat. So I was keen to make use of the first 10 minutes or so in the neutralized zone to try and get the legs moving before it all kicked off. But I didn't have long to wait. We soon took this right-hander and it was all guns blazing. The guys at the front were doing well over 500 watts, racing as if it was 100 kilometers. I was digging pretty deep at this point to make sure that I was not going to lose that lead group. And on this little descent, it then kicked up again. Jesse came flying past me, and I was doing everything that I could and burning some matches to be where I wanted to be on the road. If you do happen to follow me on Strava, I really would recommend checking out the power numbers for that first climb. It was a pretty ridiculous, all-out intense effort with what was over 13 hours of racing basically to follow. Very soon there was a really tricky little left-hander with a technical section, and at this point I was just off the back of the main bunch of about 10 or so with Freddie Ovett. What then followed was 20 kilometers or so, maybe 30 kilometers, the best part of an hour of just puddle munching. It was absolutely carnage. People crashing in puddles. Let me tell you, I'm not a cyclocross rider. I don't enjoy the puddles. I lost a few places on this section and ended up in this chase group, which was the second group on the road, I believe, about a group of 15, chasing the lead guys who were at this point probably about a couple of minutes ahead.
How are we doing?
Yeah, so by now we're well into the mountains. We're over 120 kilometers into this one, and the group has exploded all over the place. We went into the feed and I lost the group that I was with, really frustratingly. Ended up with Isaac here, who's able to capture some of the footage of me, which was very nice of him. And we had a few stragglers where we tried to make a little bit of headway into the group ahead, tried to put our head down. But ultimately, we're all pretty finished and we were just trying to piece together anything we had. Before we got onto this section, the dreaded hike bike, the bit that I missed out on my recon, oh boy, this was tough when the legs were already fried. My calves felt like they were going to cramp at this section, and it went on for ages. Of course, there were a lot of supporters out, a lot of photographers cheering us on.
God knows how many kilometers in. This is the hiking section. Oh, I'm really on the edge right now. This is not fun. My calves are just about to cramp, and this is the steepest hill we just walked up for the last 5 minutes. Oh my God, guys.
Failing, I think understandably, to take in the incredible scenery and the beautiful day that we were blessed by. To be specific, my left cleat bolt came undone. Isaac went on without me, and I took the decision to stop to try and do it up before the cleat fell out, and then I was really stuffed. Whilst I was lying down to try and tighten, my quad decided to cramp and I had no way of straightening it, and the next group on the road passed me whilst I was wincing in pain, and then I was back on the bike doing everything I could after the feed to try and close the gap. This footage is captured during the monumentally long flat section. As you can see, still a lot of puddles, and this is Isaac Cam once again, just in the group just ahead of me, only about a minute with the two lead girls from the race with G and Caro. A little bit frustrating to see this footage retrospectively, knowing that they were so close to us, but there's little that we could do when you're already that cooked. Luckily, I had this group of guys to sit in with, and we were making fairly good progress, probably around 8 hours into the race at this point. So coming into the final feed of the day, and shout out to Elliot, DC Let's Get It, for getting some of this footage I was stuffing my pockets with. everything that I need for the final few hours to make it home, and just looking forward to getting it done at this point, to be quite honest. My mind was a little bit of a blur at this point. I don't actually remember this. Riding straight past my best mate Sammy here, I have no recollection of this whatsoever, and finding myself in a group of two, just me and Sarah Sturmey, who I was with for the next few hours, and I did what I could to secure her third place position in the women's on the road. Coming on to the final climb of the day now, I knew exactly what was in store due to my numerous recons. This was Mike Mono absolutely flying past me on the early part of the climb. Obviously, couldn't help myself but to go with him. We set a really good pace going over the top. And then coming over the top, I was reunited by Sarah Sturmey once again, dropping these guys who came up to us and making good progress. With 20 kilometers to go, really so close to home, I was dying a little bit of a death, and I was caught by a group of 4 guys who I jumped onto and started pulling turns. Luckily, on the run into Girona, which was mostly tarmac or at least easy gravel at this point. The very last couple of kilometers was a little bit tricky with a bit of single track. Eyeing up this guy right now, under a kilometer to go for every position on the road. I wanted to try and beat him. So I went for it, got a bit of a gap, and then I thought I was safe coming in to the finish with a few hundred meters to go, but he had something in the tank left, and we rolled into the finish with him just beating me. A little bit frustrating, really not sure what's going on with class mark. The results are based on the Traka alone, which is famously unreliable, and they haven't put out an official finishing position, which is a bit disappointing for the entry fee that we would have all had to pay. And so I think I was around 30th, but I'm not exactly sure. Here's the stats for the day on the screen now. An absolutely ridiculous day, and let me tell you, it's going to take me a few days to recover from that one. Another Traka 360 in the books, and I've promised myself it's the last one. Maybe we'll give 200 a go next year.
Finished.
Mate, that was
What is that?
the you know, it was all that pollen and it just collects in the
How was that, dude?
That was maybe one of the hardest days I've ever fucking had.
But
Oh my god, my back's so up.
Dude.
It was in the last 10k and I was like, alright, we're good.
it was a pleasure riding with you,
Mate,
mate.
you too. Really
Mate,
good.
we had a good old day out, and we finished before it got dark.
I know, that's what was one of the things in my head. I was like,
Do you think I chose the right jersey, everyone?
Perfect.
I told you.